What's up? What's up, man? We back, brother.
Man, finally.
Hey, there it is, man. Your heart, your knowledge. YHYK.
Absolutely, but it's crazy to finally get this man
Drum roll.
in the room.
It is crazy.
We've been working at it for a while. and
Long time.
Had some rescheduling, so far and so on, but
The stars have aligned.
stars have aligned. I got to say, probably the hardest working man in showbiz outside of James Brown.
No,
What's
we
happening?
got to say Troy McNair too.
No.
You gotta
Stand
throw
behind
him in
Troy. We
there.
got to throw him in there
no.
too.
In there.
My brother,
Yes, sir.
Mr. GeneDot.com.
Listen, how y'all doing,
Finally
man?
in the building.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, it's an honor, brother.
Man.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
Thank y'all for
giving
having
us some time.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us. But I gotta say some shit real quick before.
Go ahead.
before we get
Yeah,
in there. So one of our team members putting some questions together, even though we never read the questions. So somebody said you went to Reebok?
Yeah. That almost canceled for the second time.
For the second time.
I'm like, hey, who's doing their research? Where they fishing at? They throwing that fishing pole in that? No, nothing against my fellow Reebok Trojans from across the other side of the street, but no, I am a bona fide Reigns Vikings. School number 165, Troy. All right,
Okay.
it's Ichiban. I'm saying in 1965, a $2 million school was built so that we could attend it because it was segregation. You couldn't even go to Reebok in 1965. That is the William Marion Reigns Senior High School, 3663 Reigns Avenue, Jacksonville, Florida, 32209. Don't get it twisted. If you need to give them a call, Google them, where champions are made. I mean, champions. You know, we're talking about Harold Carmichael. We're talking about 00 Kenny Burroughs.
Right.
We're talking about Brian Dawkins. We're talking about Lito Shepherd. We're talking about Patrick Sapp. We're talking about
Greg Coleman.
We're talking about Greg Coleman.
Right.
I
So,
mean,
okay,
come on.
well, you know, somebody did some research. We got it correct.
Hey, there it is.
We
There
got
it is.
corrected.
Yeah.
We got corrected.
Our apologies on that.
But you know, I do want to ask one question. What's amazing about, you know, the Jacksonville, what's amazing about when I hear you just speaking of the school, it's kind of like cats, that's like an HBCU.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where someone who goes to HBCU, they can tell you about who went there. They can tell you about everything about their school. You know, they know the alma mater. They know the song. They know the colors. They know everything. They know everything. And that's very rare because you can go to another city, state,
Right.
and someone to know about their school, but they don't have that passion, that love. When I can talk to somebody that went to a range or went to, you know, even the Reeboks and different schools, they can't break it down like that. They just say, even like my school, I tell you the high school. I know the color, but to tell you who graduated and the iconic people that went there, I can't do it. And I noticed that in a lot of cities and states.
So Reigns and Reebok, again, it's been a part of our culture here for many years. It is a lot of heritage between both schools. And with that, the pride that just it comes through our pores. Like we're passionate about it. And it's a friendly rival of love. I mean, couples. My wife is a Trojan.
Right.
And vice versa. So it's neighborhood, it's family, it's camaraderie, it's friendships, it's Northside love.
Right. Wow.
It's Northside love. And it's one of the biggest rivalries, high school rivalries, in the country.
Yeah.
And I know for coming up for me, I didn't go to neither one, but it was all about the Reigns and Reebok game.
Yeah.
Halftime.
Yeah,
halftime show. The
Halftime.
bands, Battle of the Bands. I mean, they gave us a glimpse into, because we got, that was a major game, and then we had FAM and BC, at the time BCC, not BCU. Those are the two iconic games of the city for African American culture. Wow. So, I mean, it's like you said, just to speak to the iconic nature of it.
It's big. And you think about the brands of both of those schools, have transcended even outside of
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
You know, you could be in Arkansas, or you can be in, you know, Las Vegas. Or hey, where you from? You from Jacksonville? Duval. Let me ask you this: did you go to Reigns? You went to Reebok?
Yep, that's it.
I hear that all the time. If I meet somebody and say, "Where you from?" I'm from Jacksonville. Let me guess. You went to Reigns. You went to Reebok.
Right.
Those two schools are brands within. They're superstars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Within themselves. So, you know, I just hope and continue that the tradition continues, because the kids that are coming up, you know, the babies that are coming up, it gives them something.
Right.
Well, man, well, the podcast is Your Heart, Your Knowledge, right? So your heart, starting there. You know, could you tell us a little bit about your background, like, you know, your background and what got you, obviously you're iconic in the music industry here in the city. What was your inspiration and, you know, that pivoted you to DJing and so forth and so on?
Wow. So I guess entertainment has been a part of my family. From, you know, my grandfather, he's really big in music. Salute to him, Eugene White Sr.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ed White?
Yeah.
Oh, he's iconic. I'm sorry, I'm just finding out, but he's a legend.
Yeah.
He's a legend. Yeah.
That's my grandfather. I'm the third.
Wow.
I'm the third. So being around it at a young age, I remember having, you know, a old school record player, and record players are back now. You know, you can get a record player now, but back then that was our mode of music. You know, you had the hi-fi stereo, but the record player, you know, putting a 45.
I remember that.
45. I might have been about 6 years old. The name of the group was called Slade, but the song was Slide. That was the first record I ever played in my life.
Wow.
I remember that record.
In my life, and just being a part of that. But now growing up, having an ear for music, whether it was jazz, gospel, country, because when we grew up, the radio industry here was, you'd have like a top 40 station playing all of the rock, or, you know, the top 40 records, and then in the evening they would play R&B. So, you know, the station was like 95X, and I remember hearing anything from Van Halen, Bon Jovi. At night, I'm gonna hear Luther, Whispers. You know, I remember the first time I heard Dougie Fresh and Slick the Show. You know, and that was the era when you had your boombox radio, and you had to tape in, and you was waiting to see what they was gonna play, and you hit record.
That's it. That's it.
So it's been in me for a long time. Me pivoting from high school, where I was introduced to a TV production class. My actual love was television. I really wanted to like go into acting. It really wasn't the music. I wanted to go into that part of the entertainment. You know, of course, you had this plan. Hey, I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna take off and go to California, and you know, but life didn't deal me that card. I ended up having a son after high school. I mean, 1 year after I graduated high school. So you go into a mode of defense and protective and providing, and you know, when you embracing being a father. So I was doing little ins and odd jobs, this, that, and the third. You know, did a little college here. You know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But you know, I'm trying to make the money so that I can provide for my kid. Landed a job at Airborne Express. Airborne Express took me to delivering to the radio station, bumped into my Padres still to this day. Shout out to Chill Will with the flavor unit, with the flavor unit, who I caught him in, I'm delivering packages, but I caught him in the hallway when I was coming to pick up the packages. And at the time, this was before like two-way was like full stream in. You know, I'm bringing you up to like the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s, right? So we had a device that was similar to the two-way, but it wasn't that. We called it the Frog, and the Frog helped connect with the base while they send you your packages or your pickups and things. We were, Airborne Express was like a UPS or FedEx, right? So end up bumping into him. He was, you know, attracted to the Frog device. He's like, yeah, this kind of like two-way. I've been reading up on this, that, and the third, da-da-da-da. And I say, hey, I think y'all need a man on the street on y'all's show. on the flip, I said, I listen to y'all every morning. You know, we in there. He was like, okay, what you want to do? I was like, well, I'll come in, like, talk about some stuff with the traffic or whatever, this, that, and third. And the rest was history.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
You
So you seized the opportunity.
You made
Right
a
there.
lane. You made a lane.
Created, right, exactly.
Right. lane.
Right then, but I wasn't doing it for, oh, I want to be seen.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm trying to be famous. I was doing it because I'm trying to take a step up so I could stop doing this, do something that I love to do, potentially make more money. Because when I was at that time, I'm like, oh no, I can make some more. I don't know what they pay, but I know I can make some money in doing this because I was trying to go, you know, up. You know, the older you get, you're trying to work smarter.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I'm like, okay, no, I can do what I love, and this, only to find out ain't no money in that. You still got to do some other stuff to do that. But essentially, that got it here. We weren't even talking. Brands were branding. You know, we were saying it, but we weren't really saying it then. And I was definitely unaware that I was creating something for myself as an individual of myself that has taken care of me for the past 14, 15 years independently.
That's dope.
I want. Where's your name? Where'd you get the name?
Yeah.
Gene.com. That shit is like innovative.
Listen, here's a I like to call it a Dottie moment. Chill Will again. We were in a production studio creating a commercial. And we just got to talking about all of the people that we knew. Come to find out, you know, he and I attended the same camp as children. He went to the camp, I went to the camp. And we just started talking about people that we knew, even in the industry. You know, even in what was going on in the city at that time. I was like, oh no, I know such and such. And he was like, man, you like Gene.com. This was even before Y2K.
Wow.
This was 99. I'm talking about before Y2K. He said it.
Wow.
And when he said it, it stuck. He got back on the air with it.
That's dope.
That's crazy. And that's
From there.
yeah.
There it is.
From there. And so how people were spelling it at first I was spelling it just like the GENE and then the period COM. But when I thought about when my role, well, let me say this, when my purpose developed in my internal thoughts, and I'm saying, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to put Troy with my man, and then I'm gonna put my man with this I'm the dot connector. It went good with, so it's Gene DOTCOM, and it means something, you know.
Whoa, no, that's major because still today, I've always wondered where that name came from because you've had that name. So, and again, as you just said, it wasn't even about, you know, the internet, like, you know, it wasn't that deep.
Yeah.
So I was like,
So you connected.
that was innovative already.
Yeah, long before I even knew it.
Yeah.
Knew it was. And it just morphed into the brand, you know, and I'm thankful for it, a trustworthy brand. One that, hey, you know, if I may not have the person that you need, but I may know the person that knows the person that you need. And it just, my wife tell me all the time, like, they call you and ask you for everything. Where can we get cars from? Where can we get a plush chair from? We're trying to do shoot every day. Just figure that I know, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
Simply because of how it's positioned. You need, I mean, Troy, you know, big business, you need a liaison or someone that can give you some directives. When you go to other cities, you want to talk to a city's liaison, somebody that can get me into the spots I need. When I went to New York for the first time, I had to talk to people that knew New York.
Yeah.
I don't know New York. And you go, you know, you go in certain areas in New York, they already can tell you ain't from there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Things can happen.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful how you moving around.
Yeah. And I think the beautiful correlation is that with what you're saying and how you position yourself, and even the Netflix documentary Black Godfather with Clarence Avant, because up until then, nobody really paid attention to the silent, powerful people in as far as entertainment goes. So I think, you know, with that documentary being as powerful as it was, as I'm hearing you talk about, you being the connector. I mean, I really look at you as that for the city, and because with you being in it for what you say 14 years now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. 20 was this? It's
23.
It's 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13.
13 years.
13.
Wow.
I mean that
Wow.
this industry is almost like football. You get 3
Wow.
years and you 3 and out for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for you to have sustained it for 13 years, man, that's to be applauded.
Well, I think that's attributed to people like yourselves and watching innovative things, and you got to want to attach to the newness of what is happening. You'll perish if you don't try to obtain new knowledge. As long as you're breathing, and there's no such thing as getting too old to understand new knowledge. If you are in your right mind, embrace it.
Yeah.
I saw KRS-One do a clip, and he was saying that what needs to happen, the older generation needs to listen to the younger generation because that makes the older generation faster in their generation. The younger generation needs to listen to the older generation because it makes them faster in the younger generation. So we need each other.
Right. Facts.
We need each other. And I wholeheartedly take responsibility and say, my generation is who dropped the ball. Because the generation before us gave us the game.
Yeah.
But we didn't pass it on. And now we have a lot of passive parenting.
Facts.
Blended with laziness, convenientness, no hard work, blended with rights that we didn't have
Right.
Yeah.
in coming up.
Yeah.
It's blended with a lot, so it's murky.
Yeah.
It's murky.
Right.
And I think
Damn.
I always hear a mentor of mine always say, when grown men stop being afraid of young boys and start telling them the reality, the truth, we can shift the generation. And I agree with what that goes along with what you're saying. Like, we're responsible to share the wins and the fails.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. Everybody winning on social media.
Yeah.
Everybody winning.
Everybody winning. I ain't seen a loss
I
yet.
ain't seen a loss yet. Either.
I ain't seen a loss
I ain't
yet.
seen a loss yet either.
Everybody is winning.
Facts.
And that's what we are, man. We're in back in the day, if you did something good or whatever, the people right in your close quarters are telling you, hey, great job. Now everybody could tell you great job. Everybody could say, so it's that self-fulfillment of fallacy of love, because everybody that tap on you don't love you.
Yeah.
Facts.
And then even to echo that too, I think a missing thing is even when you do a great job, having that one person in your corner be like, yeah, all right.
Right.
Because that the generation from the coaches we used to have and so forth, they were like, good game, but y'all didn't do this, y'all didn't hit that mark.
Right.
And then being able to, the person who can say, aim higher, you can do better.
You can do
better.
right,
And that
right.
is a big missing element. And I think with Think Bold, that's what we're trying to usher in, even into the city somewhat.
No, that's a fact. But going back though, and I don't want to lose that thought.
No, you good.
Because I'm listening to Gene on some stuff, and I want to know, like, how do you keep yourself grounded, or who keeps yourself grounded? Because as we're just having this conversation, like, I've always admired you from afar, because here you are, a staple in the personality business and the entertainment business. Yet, people can always get gassed up and get hype. You got so many people in your ear on different things. But I've always admired you because I've seen how you walk, and you do show love, but at the same time, you can tell that you're focused. I can, from afar, I can see where, your queen is there. on different iconic things that you participate in. I actually got an opportunity to see on social media. You had won an award, and don't slap me in the face that I can't remember the
No,
award.
the Image Award.
The Image Award, but I actually got an opportunity to see, your significant other with you and supporting you and a part of that process. So it wasn't even about just you. It was a unit. You could tell it was a unit. So it wasn't really just about you. It was that unit. So how do you work on staying grounded in the field, in the industry that has a lot of fool's gold?
Yeah.
Because I was there for a minute, and I getting fool's gold here and there, because you just got so much coming at you.
Right.
So what is?
That's a great question.
Who is that, or what is that, or how do you work on constantly, like, let me stay focused on really what's real in my life?
That's wholeheartedly. That's God. That's God.
Yeah.
I didn't have a blueprint. Like it wasn't a guide. I was just being me.
Cool.
From throwing quotes of the day out every day, and just making that something repetitious. I would post that and probably say nothing else on social media, just dropping it at the same time every day. But I didn't know that was going to morph into this right now. What I knew was I was at a crossroad in my life in 2010. I created a perfume called Dottie Perfume. And because of it, my relationship with the radio station at that time ended because we were having a difference of opinion about that being a conflict of interest, in which it wasn't. It was almost as if they were saying, we didn't give you permission to do this. And I ain't like the way that made me feel.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, nah, this is not going to be a dictatorship.
Yeah.
So let me go in, let me pack my bag up. And so we separated. And that fueled me to just put all, 100% trust in God and say, I know that there is something here. I can't see it, but you can, but I believe it's there. And I just started moving in a direction, clearing the path. So to answer your question, what keeps me grounded is because I know that time does not belong to me.
Gotcha.
It doesn't belong to any of us. We're all going to check out one day. Make sure you use your time wisely. I'm not interested in what others have going on. And I don't say that like carefree, like I don't care.
Right, I got you.
I'm just saying that, if everybody is thriving or working to thrive, or you're busy trying to get some, obtainable goals, then we can all move in the same direction. But if you're trying to be a distraction, and see, you don't have time, it's like you said, the fool's gold. You don't have time to be hooking up with different tunnel ends or dead ends from the beginning. Now, you done wasted time. You got to loop back around again. I've been through that like gazillion times. People will come to me with their own vision, like vision. Hey, Gene, this is what I want to do, because I've been thinking, and I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And what you think about that? I think it's cool. Well, yeah, man, that's why I'm calling you, because I want you to help me. Okay, cool. We figure it out. Boom.
Right.
We take off running.
Right.
And then when I turn around, you own to somebody else telling them about another vision that you got. So I done ran all the way up here, then past my corner.
Yeah.
And then, you know how the GPS say rerouting. You miss the corner, they tell you to turn to the next one. But you still running for somebody else's vision. You done passed your own corners.
Yeah.
I woke up and said, I ain't passing my corners no more.
That's good. That's good.
That's done.
I'm not passing my corners no more. There's too much out there for you not to be paying attention to you. It is like it's a lot of distractions out there, and sometimes I'm not a perfect individual at all. I get distracted all the time, but I have to
recalibrate.
Great word, recalibrate, and get back onto your lane. Another thing too, I stay in my lane. I don't overextend myself. Shout out to RD handling the camera. I can't do that.
Right.
So
he damn sure no, I can't.
Yeah, I can't do that. And there's a lot of things that I can't do, and you'll never have to. If you come and ask me, can I do something, for me to pretend like I can, and I can't, but I could point you in the direction of who can do it.
Right.
Like, you have a lot of that. Folks that'll misguide you because, oh yeah, I can do that. No, just tell me what it is. In business, just tell me what it is. And don't be doing the back door.
Right.
Slide something. See, that make you too keep your head down. And focus. And certain people, because you can't attach yourself to everybody.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
You can't do that.
So when you said, speaking on recalibrate, and we're gonna get into think bold, but I again, you don't even know. I've always again admired you from afar because I liked how you move, and I've always been fascinated. Even though I've always been when you talk about artist management, someone behind the scenes, don't really want to be out. But I always admire folks who can get on stage, and not talking about performance, but it still is a performance. You get on stage and you excite the audience. You excite, whether it's a party or hosting, whether it's a black and white affair, black attire affair, whether it's a dinner, like. One of your gifts that I've seen, at least, that you know how to electrify whatever audience it is in the room, no matter if it's a dinner, no matter if it's some poppin' nightclub, no matter if it's a fashion show, no matter what. So, with that being said, you had to recalibrate, and you've given us some permission to talk. So I want to make that clear. You had a son, untimely situation, and so how did you and your wife recalibrate? Because my mother just passed a couple years ago, but I have two boys and I have one daughter. But that was my mother. She was 81. You kind of got an idea.
But that's still mom though.
But it's moms and everything. So I'm trying to figure out you and your family recalibrating over a loved one that you're supposed to outpass.
Right.
Excuse me. They're supposed to outpass you. You know what I'm saying? Like they're supposed to put you and your wife. So share with us like the recalibrating of that to the best of your ability. I don't want to go where you don't want to go, but
no. We're still recalibrating. My son passed in 2018. Senseless violence, not because he was in the streets. He had 2 kids. He had 2 jobs. He was being a friend and lost his life. So that is a constant. I don't think one ever gets over that type of grief. Like you said, they're supposed to tuck you in nicely, not the other way around. my whole, everything that we have discussed into why I even got here was because of that young man. Him being my first and only son. Motivated, because my dad and I didn't have that type of relationship. My dad was in and out of jail, prison, so we didn't have that type of relationship. So when I had a son, I wanted to manifest the opposite of what I experienced and give it to him. He was my Robin. I was his Batman. It was, he and his mom and I, we did a fantastic job. We could write a book on co-parenting because even though we weren't, involved with each other anymore, we got our own personal issues out the way and became really good friends in raising our son. Those are the recalibrated and the reasons why I say we're constantly, because you think about it often. What keeps me happy is knowing that I know that's what he would have wanted me to do. I know that if the shoe was on the other foot, I would wanted him to do it. It's tough sometimes. I would be less than truthful to tell you that many nights I could leave, whether it's R&B bingo, I could be leaving the live bar, wherever. I could be leaving any function and get in my car and ball out. After just, leaving it all right there, rehearsing or what have you, we having a good time. Because sometimes I feel like I shouldn't be happy with versus how I really, really feel. Losing a child, I mean, if you love your children, it's the worst. It's the worst. And I wish I could say, oh, it gets easier. It doesn't get easier. What happens is I think you get a little more stronger to deal with it. So, there are weeks I'm up.
Right.
And then 2 days I could just find myself moping around and I don't want to get out of bed. I'm not motivated. I'm not talking as much, and that's just a cycle.
So no, I that's some good therapy for all of us or anyone out there, because it is getting challenging, in the community, and I don't know if it's music, I don't know if it's this, we can all look at multiple things out there. It's different, and it's different.
It's very different. The code is different.
It's different.
But one thing I appreciate you for even sharing is that, it's okay to not be okay, right?
Correct.
So it's okay to have your days, because I think even as men, sometimes I don't want to say we ignore them, but just as being men, you got to do what you got to do, and you forget to feel. Because that keeps that pressure cooker, from busting.
From busting open.
Because you compress for so much, and then you explode, and then it's it manifests different in everybody.
It does.
But
it does.
I
And
appreciate
you are spot on, because there are times when I do consume it more than I should, and then I find myself on edge. Everything somebody say now, I feel like you saying it a certain way, and I have to do my checks and balance to say, hold on, Gene, chill.
Right.
If it had been any other day, you got to do that. And I had to learn through therapy how to compartmentalize my emotions.
That's good.
Because, somebody, if a car accident or your child is sick, that's different from somebody punched the clock on it. Pow. And then how it was done.
Right.
So you feel like,
Yeah.
oh, you took this from me. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
no, where I'm from, hey, you take something from me, I'm gonna take it.
Something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now I feel you
Yeah.
on that.
Facts.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I have daughters.
Right.
I have a family.
Right.
You have to ask, is it worth it? You go through all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go through all of that. So like when I look at this generation now, and now it's the Wild Wild West, and this happened to such and such, and then you look later, this happened to such and such.
Yeah.
I know what they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an adult, I know what they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And as you say that, yeah,
Mm.
you in their shoes.
Right.
You can feel.
Right.
I never
I
thought
know.
about that.
I know why. The difference is, you know, I'm not gonna carry out the act because I
Right.
feel I have more to lose
Yeah. Exactly.
than to
Right.
gain
Exactly.
to do that.
Exactly.
But I mean, let's be honest. How many of them think like
I
that?
mean, well, your 19
you
year old
said.
self and 40-year-old self,
right.
two different
different selves.
Two different selves.
Right. Two different sets of
Yeah,
responsibilities.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And managing the mind
Yeah.
differently.
And then what you consume, and you know, I think as cats, that's, you know, late 30s, early 40s, what we're inputting is a little bit more balanced versus when you're 19, 20, you know, I mean, you listening to what you like to listen to, not thinking about what you're feeding into. Because what I used to always tell my sons, what you put in is what you're going to get out. I'm sorry.
Right.
If you banging all day in your mind, you training your mind to think bang. No matter how plush your life is, or no matter how middle class you are, if you reprogramming your brain all day, every day, you know that what you put in is what you're going to get out.
Amen.
But man, I appreciate you just even sharing. Number one, even sharing that and the transparency to that. But just to be able to see brothers and family and people to be like, it's all right. Because like I said, a lot of us, you know, in the world of Instagram, social media, and so forth and so on, everybody doing
winning.
good. Everybody
doing
winning.
good. Everybody
I'm
winning.
chilling today, you know.
Everybody winning, but
And it's all right to not to not.
Right. What are you consuming? What's
Yeah.
what's your top five? What you
Oh,
consuming when you ride
on the music,
when you riding in your whip?
oh
Yeah.
man,
You know
Come
what I'm
on,
saying? But
come
you
on.
got hold up. You riding in the whip, but you by yourself now.
yeah.
And you know where you can actually play. Like what's that looking like?
I'm finna tell you right now. I'm on that little brother foreign exchange.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in that vein. Ninth Wonder. I'm in that
Yeah,
vein.
North Carolina.
Yep. I like a lot of the colorless music. Your Alex Isley.
Yeah.
Your
And isn't
Carmen
she?
Rogers.
And she's so underrated, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
Alex
yeah.
Isley, like
Yeah.
her voice. I don't know if I've ever shared or if you listen to it. One of the purest voices of our generation.
Listen, man, cold.
Cold. I mean, tone. I'm talking about tone.
Tone
like,
cold. I'm talking about you catch on a evening and you in
Yeah.
your feelings, you gonna cry.
Man, hey, because when I be leaving
You gonna
here
cry.
stressed. I'm telling you, I leave here stressed some nights. Hit I-10, throw it, be having all,
Yeah.
and you just be like, dang.
Yeah.
It's almost like
it
like
makes
it's
you
just
want to keep.
angelic.
It make you
It's
want
angelic.
right.
Yeah.
It makes you want to keep.
That's Ron.
Keep-
No, Ron. That's not Ron Isley's daughter. That's what's Ernie? Ernie's
the
daughter.
guitar player.
Yeah.
I'm liking her. Now, of course, Troy. I mean, that hip hop ain't going nowhere.
Right,
Yeah.
You know, I got Outkast up front,
Mm-hmm.
De La. Of course, I have to have Hove in there.
Yeah.
My Biggie in there. And see what people don't even realize, right? I still play my CDs, and they be laughing, but I don't care.
Right,
I
right.
ordered. First of all, salute the Diggable Planets who on their 30 year,
Right.
because we used to rock them, going to range,
Yeah.
going to range, and I just ordered their first album, their first CD.
Yeah.
Because I got a CD player.
Hey.
I'm playing it.
Hey, facts.
Matter of fact,
You ain't got to wait for real Wi-Fi.
They on tour too. Matter of fact,
They are.
Yeah.
They are. I had just got that States is High CD. I needed another one.
Yeah.
You know, before the untimely demise of Trugo, I had gotten it because I was looking for the States is High album. That album was $400.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that's such a great album, man. That project. Who? Because Knife Wonder, was it Knife Wonder? Who did that one?
Stakes is High.
No, I just
Stakes is High was,
I don't know if that was. I
they
can't remember. Jay Dilla did a couple joints.
off that because that was.
Yeah, I think there's Jay
I think
Dilla.
it was Jay Dilla because that's when they switched
Yeah,
from
I think it's Jay Dilla.
Prince Paul.
Yeah,
That was the
Paul
first
did
one.
the first joint.
Yeah.
But I think Jay Dilla, if I can recall, I think
it's
a couple
great.
joints on.
Great project.
Yeah, I think so. All right, that's cool. All right, so now we got what you vibing. So now we vibing on Think Bold.
Yeah, let's do
We
it.
vibing on innovation. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, when we were having this conversation about Think Bold, you know, we thought about, you know, especially now we're all talking the music industry, it's like South by Southwest. Why is that not here in Jacksonville?
Right.
AC3, hip hop. Why is that not here in Jacksonville? Complex Con, and so forth and so on.
Right.
And go on and on and on. So the whole idea with Think Bold is we need to have a conference / music festival that gears to conversation.
Right.
You know, not just music, innovation, technology, music, but then also have some components of music.
Yeah.
And then when we figured out Think Bold, obviously this being the bold city, that means then we have to have some of the boldest thinkers from our community to be able to share, network, communicate, inspire,
Definitely.
educate. And then that was the whole conversation of us trying to find you for several months. Got to go to the night spots. Got to go to this venue, that venue.
Gotta pull up.
Got to call. Got to make
pull up.
multiple calls to figure out, where my man at.
Facts.
But as you said earlier, the stars aligned.
Yeah, definitely.
We're excited to see, you know, how we can infuse some of your thoughts as being a bold thinker in our community, and having knowledge from what's going on in other communities, and you know, from what you do as a professional. So, you know, you know, that's where we're trying to now, like,
And I think, you know, just from the fundamentals, like you mentioned, South by Southwest, you know, really what that did for Austin, Texas.
Right.
Austin, Texas, I'm sure there were plenty of conferences and music festivals prior to South by Southwest that tried to launch. But a lot of it wasn't sustainable because the infrastructure for the city wasn't ready. Right. We just really felt that this time, and I'll be honest, when we started this company, I laugh at it now, but he clowned me. Because I'm a studio cat, right? I'm a studio rat. I'm introverted, so I just kind of be by myself. I was like, man, let's get a spot over in like Riverside, you know, kind of duck off. And he was like, nah, man, we need if we gonna believe in, if we're gonna invest in this city, we gotta be a part of it.
Right.
And the world, you know, he's brought me into that I've been privy to.
hold on, no, you trying to jump that shit.
I skipped.
Gene, if we showed you this shit house,
man, thanks.
it was a law firm that's been in that building for over 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
So you
30,
in a
40 years
home,
of
in
documents.
like a house.
Oh, not in a house.
In a
Like
house.
Documented, yeah. So yeah, we just really felt like the infrastructure and the stuff. It's like the time is right. Like with the Four Seasons coming here, like the city's really supported us, you know, and just kind of letting us know, okay, we're ready for something that's self-sustaining, but something we can support, but not have to babysit.
Gotcha.
And I think that's really where we've kind of garnered a lot of the city support. You know, just kind of seeing that it's the timing is right.
At the time, and I mean, you got condos, apartments coming down like crazy now. You know, you remember back in the day, you know, you couldn't put a bar or nightclub downtown because of the different religious institutions.
Right.
Now you got breweries and bars, and we doing rooftops like crazy.
I think our city needs that, because if it's ever going to become a destination, you have to have something for some people to come.
That's it.
Right.
I hear every mayor, I want to make it a destination. I want to make it a destination. Well, some of that is what we had to go through, like you said, with some of the religious organizations. But some of that too is, still that unspoken line that says, I don't know if we want that to be.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Facts.
And, if we didn't have that, I think that we would emerge into your Atlanta or your Charlotte or, these thriving cities that is not so that it's, we're outnumbered with the majority and the minorities or whatever the percentages is. It's not like that. But just like everybody's getting along.
Yeah.
They're treating it like it's, business versus the other way around. And it's sad because we have so much potential. And I just look at how the city has also been stifled from entertainment, say music, there's a lot of potential, but it's not enough landing strips here and resources here. So that causes those that they want to chase their dreams, they leave.
That's it. Yep.
That's what Mo always talks about.
And that's why we set up shop here. That's literally why we set up shop as GMG. We were like, look, you know what? Instead of allowing, because a lot of people like to complain, when you're from somewhere, man, how y'all gonna let them come in and get all the shine and get all the, but the reality is, and no knock to anybody. I mean, I get it. If I'm an investor, I'm gonna go to the point of least resistance. So when I do make it from here, if I want to start my record company, if I want to start my production company, I'm gonna go to Atlanta, I'm gonna go to New York, LA, because it's point of least resistance.
Right.
But then I think on the flip, where we had to say, okay, we're gonna be disruptors a little bit. Let's put our dollars where our mouth is, or our money where our mouth is, and say let's do it here. Let's do it from an ad agency trajectory, but have different components, music component,
right?
Events components, and so forth and so on. And I do think the city is ready for it, because the reality is, I don't know why the city has changed their tone. I've been doing, I've been kind of on the music side for years here. So I know the early years, the 90s. And so, it was kind of one of the things, pat on the back, but keep up the good work. We're not really interested. But my mind's eye kind of say, well, hey, with a lot of the success that's come from here the last few years, because we've had a lot of great success stories, I think they're kind of like, okay, we better allow some of our homegrown people that smell like us and that loves this community do it before the Sonys and the Warners come here, because they ain't gonna care. They gonna buy their building, they gonna set up, they gonna sign their artists, and hey, it's what it is. This business.
Right.
So to have an entertainment component and an agency component that's birthed, a cultural agency component that's birthed from the city, I think it's setting. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And that's great stuff. I'm excited about it as well.
No, I think so, and I think we got a lot of, I don't know if they're new or whatever, but I'm not going to go into that. But I think we got a lot of stakeholders that want to see innovation in our city, want to see growth, and so it's happening.
Yeah, thinking bold.
So that's what we're thinking bold.
April 14th.
April 14th, 15th.
Yep.
So, when we get done with all this, hopefully, we'll be locking in one of the most incredible personalities in the city.
Yeah.
And seeing what that looks like, and there it is. I don't know, GeneDot.com.
Any parting words?
Anything that we didn't touch.
And one thing I always like to do is, any encouraging words to somebody who's the 17-year-old in GeneDot.com. Who's looking to be in the space that you're in, who's inspired by you. May not even know what you do, but everybody knows GeneDot.com in this city. Right. So who's inspired by your brand, who's inspired by you? How would you speak to that person right now? In a little 2-minute blurb.
I would tell that person to bet on itself. I would tell him to challenge every fiber of himself, and that's going to be tough because that's going to come with some evolution. It's going to have to come with some wisdom. You know, you're going to have to listen. I was a student of a lot of game because I listened. I was the kid that would sit back and, you know, I might have been the life of the party when it was time for me to, but I knew when wisdom hit the room, close your mouth. And I did that. So that's what I would tell.
That's good.
I would also say, you know, people use it as a cliche, you know, all the time and say, if you do the things that you love, you know, you'll never work hard
Facts.
in your life. But I lean on that.
Yeah.
I lean on that. I think that everybody on this planet, in this universe, has an ingenious gift. And it's your job to search, find it, so that you can give it back to the world.
That's good.
Dope.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. Well,
Appreciate your time, my
appreciate
brother.
your time,
Thank
man.
y'all for having me.
so
let's,
much.
let's do some more of this.
Please.
Absolutely. Go to the socials. I always get in trouble for not saying it.
Oh, you do?
YHYK podcast on all
Yeah,
platforms.
you do be getting in trouble.
Yeah. That's happening for it. So yeah, and we got some merch coming soon and all that other good stuff. So,
No doubt.
but ThinkBold, go to thinkboldfest.com, register, volunteer. Even if you don't, you know, even if you can't afford to be there or whatever, be a volunteer. Be in the room. People gonna see you.
No doubt.
So
Appreciate y'all.
thank you. All right.